Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Earthship Defiance. Through the large window she could see the alien fleet waiting in space. 12 massive ships floated like dark mountains against the stars. Each one was 10 times bigger than her largest battleship. The communication screen flickered to life. A strange creature appeared on the display. It looked like living crystal, with sharp edges that caught the light. Its voice sounded like breaking glass when it spoke. "I am Overseer Zeftel of the Galactic Confederation," the alien said. "We have come to offer your species a choice." Chen kept her face calm. She had been expecting this day for months. Ever since humans had made contact with the alien races, she knew this moment would come. The aliens thought humans were weak and primitive. "What choice?" Chen asked. Zeftal's crystal body flashed with different colors. "Your species will surrender all military weapons. You will accept our technology limits. You will work for us in exchange for protection. This is generous. Most new species do not get such an offer." Behind Chen, her crew stayed quiet. She could feel their anger, but they were well trained. They waited for her orders. "And if we refuse?" Chen asked. "Then you will be removed from this galaxy," Zeftel said. The words were cold and simple. "Your primitive weapons cannot harm our ships. Your chemical rockets are toys to us. You have 6 hours to decide." Chen almost smiled. Chemical rockets. If only this crystal creature knew the truth. 6 hours seemed short for such an important decision, she said. Zeftal made a sound like grinding stone. 6 hours is more than enough. We have studied your species. You are emotional and weak. You fight with sticks and stones while we command the power of stars. There is no real choice here." "I see," Chen said. "Then we will give you our answer in 6 hours." The screen went dark. Chen turned to her communications officer. "Send a message to all Earth Defense Fleet ships," she ordered. "Code Black, execute Protocol 7. The young officer's eyes went wide. Protocol 7 was something they had trained for but hoped never to use. It meant war with an enemy much stronger than them. "Ma'am, are you sure?" he asked. "Send the message," Chen said firmly. Across the bridge, officers began working at their stations. They sent secret signals to hidden ships throughout the solar system. They activated weapons that had been disguised as mining equipment. They woke up soldiers who had been pretending to be farmers and traders. Chen walked to her private office behind the bridge. On her desk was a red phone that connected directly to Earth Command. She picked it up. "This is Admiral Chen. The aliens have given us 6 hours to surrender or die." The voice on the other end was calm. "What are your orders, Admiral?" "We show them what humans really are," Chen said. "Activate all hidden fleets. Begin Phase 1 of the deception plan." "Understood. Good hunting, Admiral." Chen hung up the phone. She looked out her office window at the alien ships. They floated there like sleeping giants, confident in their power. They had no idea what was coming. For the past 2 years since first contact, humanity had been playing a careful game. They had shown the aliens only what they wanted them to see. Old ships with simple engines. Basic weapons that seemed weak. Colonies that looked helpless and peaceful. The aliens had never seen a human military base. They had never witnessed human ships in battle formation. They had never studied human history or learned how humans really fought wars. This was exactly what Earth Command had planned. Chen returned to the bridge. Her crew was ready. Around the solar system, hidden human fleets were moving into position. Ships that had been disguised as asteroids were powering up their real engines. Space stations that looked like simple research facilities were revealing their true purpose as weapons platforms. "Status report," Chen ordered. "All ships report ready," her tactical officer said. "The alien fleet has not moved. They seem to be waiting." "Of course they are," Chen said. "They think this is already over." She looked at the timer on her screen. 4 hours and 30 minutes remaining. She could use that time to think about what came next. This war would not be like anything the aliens expected. Humans had been fighting wars for thousands of years. They had learned hard lessons about survival, strategy, and sacrifice. The aliens had been the strongest species in the galaxy for so long they had forgotten what real war looked like. Chen opened a channel to the alien ship. "Overseer Zeftal," she said, "I have a question for you." The crystal alien appeared on screen again. "Speak quickly, human. Your time grows short." "Have you ever studied human history?" Chen asked. Zeftal made that grinding sound again. "Why would we study the history of primitives? Your species has achieved nothing worth knowing." "I see," Chen said. Then you do not know about our wars. You do not know how we conquered our own planet. You do not know what we did to species that threatened us. Your primitive conflicts mean nothing to us, Zeftal said. You fought with metal and fire. We command energy and matter itself. Chen nodded slowly. You are right. We did fight with metal and fire. But we won those fights. Every single one. She cut the communication. Around her, the bridge crew prepared for what was coming. They checked their weapons, their armor, their emergency systems. They said quiet prayers and thought about their families back on Earth. Admiral, the communications officer said, we are receiving surrender signals from human colonies in the Proxima system. Chen smiled for the first time that day. Perfect. The aliens will think we are giving up already. But those were not real surrender signals. They were part of the plan. The colonies were drawing the alien fleets into carefully prepared traps. Every surrender was actually bait. 1 hour remaining, the tactical officer announced. Chen opened a channel to all human ships throughout the system. She could see her officers and crew waiting for her words. These were good people. Scientists, explorers, defenders. They had joined the Earth Defense Fleet to protect humanity and explore the stars. Now they would have to become something else. Today the aliens learned that humans are not as simple as they thought. Chen said, they offered us slavery or death. They believed we would choose slavery because we are afraid. She paused, looking at the faces of her crew. They do not understand humans very well. She continued, we choose neither slavery nor death. We choose to fight. We choose to show them what happens when you threaten human families, human children, human freedom. The crew stood straighter. Their fear was still there, but now it was mixed with determination. In 30 minutes, we will send our final message to the Galactic Confederation, Chen said. After that, we will show them something they have never seen before. We will show them how humans wage war. Chen walked back to her command chair. She thought about her daughter back on Earth. She thought about all the human children who deserved to grow up free. She thought about the aliens who believed humans were weak and primitive. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The timer showed 15 minutes remaining. Around the solar system, human ships finished their preparations. Hidden weapons came online. Stealth systems activated. Soldiers checked their equipment one last time. Open a channel to the alien fleet, Chen ordered. Zeftal appeared on screen, looking confident and bored. Have you made your decision, human? Chen looked directly at the crystal alien. Her voice was calm and clear. Since you chose war, let us show you how it is done. She cut the communication. The real war was about to begin. The alien fleet moved slowly toward Earth after Chen's message. Overseer Zeftal was not worried. The human ships looked old and weak. Their weapons seemed primitive. This would be an easy victory. But Zeftal did not know the truth about humans. For 2 years, Earth had been playing a careful game of deception. Every ship the aliens had seen was designed to look weak. Every weapon appeared simple and outdated. Every human colony seemed helpless and peaceful. The reality was very different. Deep in space, hidden behind false asteroid fields, the real human fleet waited. These ships used technology the aliens had never seen. Dark matter cloaking systems made them invisible to alien sensors. Quantum engines gave them speed that seemed impossible. Weapons that could crack planets waited in hidden launch bays. Captain Maria Santos commanded one of these hidden ships, the Ghost Runner. She watched the alien fleet through her secret sensors. Her ship looked like a broken asteroid to alien eyes, but it was actually humanity's most advanced stealth destroyer. All systems ready? Captain, her weapons officer reported. Hold position, Santos ordered. Let them get closer. The aliens had made their first mistake by underestimating humans. They had made their second mistake by not studying human history. If they had, they would have learned that humans were very good at hiding their true strength until the perfect moment to strike. On Earth, General James Morrison sat in the deep underground command center. Screens around him showed the positions of every ship in the solar system. The aliens thought they were seeing the complete human fleet. They were seeing less than half. Status report on the colonial fleets, Morrison ordered. Proxima Centauri reports ready, his aide said. Alpha Centauri reports ready. All outer colonies are in position. Morrison nodded. The aliens believed they were conquering a handful of weak human settlements. They did not know that every human colony was actually a hidden military base. Farmers were actually soldiers. Mining ships were actually weapons platforms. Research stations were actually command centers. The deception had taken years to prepare. When aliens visited human colonies, they saw what humans wanted them to see. Simple people living simple lives with simple technology. The aliens never realized they were looking at some of the most dangerous military installations in the galaxy. Back on the Defiance, Admiral Chen watched the alien fleet approach. Her tactical officer counted down the distance. 50,000 kilometers in closing, he reported. Chen opened a channel to her hidden fleet. All ghost ships prepare for revelation. Throughout the solar system, hundreds of hidden human vessels began to power up their real systems. Ships that had looked like space junk suddenly showed their true forms. Asteroids that had floated peacefully for months revealed themselves as massive weapons platforms. The aliens were about to learn their third mistake. They believed war was about having the biggest ships and the most powerful weapons. Humans had learned that war was about intelligence, deception, and striking when your enemy least expected it. "Admiral," the communications officer said, "we are receiving a message from the alien flagship." Chen smiled. "Put it on screen." Zeftel appeared, his crystal body flashing with confident colors. "Human Admiral, you have made the wrong choice. Surrender now and we will make your deaths quick." "Tell me something, Overseer," Chen said. "In all your years of conquest, how many species have you fought that evolved as predators?" Zeftel paused. "What does that matter?" "It matters because every species you have conquered evolved as prey animals," Chen said. "They built civilizations based on cooperation and peace. When you threatened them, their instinct was to submit or flee." Chen's voice grew colder. "Humans evolved differently. We were hunters on a world full of dangerous creatures. We learned to track, to ambush, to kill things much larger and stronger than ourselves. Your primitive evolution means nothing against our technology," Zeftel said. "Does it?" Chen asked. "Your ships are impressive. But tell me, how many of our ships can you actually see right now?" Zeftal's image flickered. Chen could see confusion in the alien's body language. "We see 12 human vessels," Zeftel said slowly. Chen laughed. "Computer execute ghost protocol." Suddenly, the space around the alien fleet came alive. Hundreds of human ships dropped their stealth fields simultaneously. What had appeared to be empty space was actually full of hidden warships. The aliens found themselves surrounded by a force 3 times larger than their own. "Now you see 1,300 human vessels," Chen said. "Would you like to revise your assessment of our capabilities?" Zeftal's crystal body flashed with colors Chen had never seen before. Fear, she realized. The alien was experiencing fear for the first time in centuries. "Impossible," Zeftal whispered. "Our sensors showed nothing." "Your sensors showed exactly what we wanted them to show," Chen said. "We have been studying your technology for 2 years. We know how your ships work, how your weapons function, how your minds think. Do you know anything about us?" The alien fleet began to change formation, trying to respond to the sudden appearance of so many human ships. But they were moving slowly, uncertain. They had expected an easy conquest, not a real battle. "You want to know the difference between us?" Chen continued. "Your species conquered the galaxy by being stronger than everyone else. You never learned to be smarter. You never learned to adapt. You never learned to fight dirty." Chen cut the communication and opened a channel to her fleet. "All ships, begin Phase 2. Show them what human tactics look like." The battle began, but it was not the kind of battle the aliens expected. Human ships did not line up in neat formations for a fair fight. Instead, they used hit-and-run attacks, appearing from nowhere to strike and then vanishing again. Some human ships pretended to retreat, drawing alien vessels into ambushes. Others used the aliens' own formation against them, positioning themselves so that alien ships would hit each other if they fired. The aliens had studied human technology, but not human psychology. They did not understand that humans viewed deception as a perfectly acceptable military tactic. They did not know that humans had no concept of honorable warfare when their survival was at stake. Captain Santos brought her ship around behind an alien cruiser. The enemy vessel was focused on fighting 3 human destroyers to its front. It never noticed the Ghost Runner approaching from behind. "Target their engine core," Santos ordered. "One clean shot." The alien ship exploded in a flash of blue light. The aliens on nearby ships began to panic. Their formations started to break apart, as individual captains tried to protect themselves. "This is what happens when predators hunt in packs," Santos said quietly. Throughout the solar system, the pattern repeated. Alien ships that had seemed invincible were being destroyed by human vessels they never saw coming. The aliens' advanced shields and armor were useless against attacks from directions they had not expected. But the real surprise was still coming. Admiral Chen opened another channel to the alien flagship. Zeftel appeared on screen, his crystal body now flashing with rapid, panicked colors. "You cannot defeat us," Zeftel said. "We have conquered 1,000 worlds." "And how many of those worlds fought back?" Chen asked. "How many used every weapon at their disposal? How many refused to accept defeat?" She paused, letting the alien think about that. "You offered us slavery or death," Chen continued. "But you forgot there was a third option. We could drag you down with us. And we are very, very good at that." Chen turned to her weapons officer. "Fire the demonstration shot." A single missile launched from the Defiance. It was not aimed at any alien ship. Instead, it flew toward a small asteroid near the edge of the solar system. When it hit, the asteroid simply vanished. Not destroyed, vanished, turned into energy and light. "That was a planet-killer missile," Chen said calmly. "We have 300 of them positioned throughout this system. Each one can destroy a ship your size. Would you like to reconsider your offer?" For the first time since the war began, space fell silent. The alien fleet stopped moving. The human ships held their positions. Everyone waited to see what Zeftal would say. "You would destroy your own system to stop us?" the alien asked. "If necessary," Chen said. "That is what you never understood about humans. We do not surrender. We do not submit. If you want to kill us, you will have to pay a price that makes the victory worthless." Chen smiled coldly. "But this is just the beginning. You wanted to see our primitive weapons. You wanted to test our weak military. This is one star system with one small human fleet. We have colonies throughout the galaxy, and every one of them is ready to fight." She leaned forward in her command chair. "You started this war thinking it would be easy. Now let us show you what a real war looks like." 3 days after the battle in Earth's solar system, the real war began. The Galactic Confederation had called for reinforcements from across their empire. Massive fleets moved toward human space, confident that their superior numbers would win the day. They were about to learn their first lesson in human warfare, Commander. Jake Phillips stood on the bridge of the mining vessel Hard, labor in the Proxima Centauri system. To alien sensors, his ship looked like a simple cargo hauler carrying metal ore. The aliens had no idea they were looking at a carefully disguised battleship. "Confederation fleet approaching," his sensor officer reported. 12 heavy cruisers and 40 destroyer escorts. Phillips nodded. The aliens were sending a large force to crush what they believed was a small human colony. They expected to find helpless miners and a few security ships. "Signal the colony," Phillips ordered. "Tell them to begin the surrender act." On the planet below, human colonists started broadcasting distress signals. They begged for mercy and offered to surrender without a fight. Their messages sounded desperate and afraid. The alien fleet commander, a proud warrior named General Korthax, listened to the human pleas with satisfaction. This would be easier than expected. His species, the Draknari, had conquered hundreds of worlds. They had never met a species that could match their military might. "Prepare to accept their surrender," Korthax ordered his fleet. "Send boarding parties to secure their ships." The alien ships moved into standard formation around the human colony. They positioned themselves according to their military textbooks, with heavy ships in the center and smaller vessels protecting the flanks. This was exactly what the humans wanted. Phillips watched the alien formation through his secret sensors. The enemy ships were bunched together, making perfect targets. Their shields were down because they thought the battle was already over. All hidden ships. "Prepare for Lesson 1, Phillips broadcast on a coded channel. Throughout the system, dozens of disguised human vessels received the signal. Ships that looked like cargo haulers powered up hidden weapons. Asteroids that seemed natural revealed themselves as camouflaged battle stations. Even the space station that appeared to be a simple research facility opened launch bays full of fighters. "Execute," Phillips ordered. The aliens learned their first lesson the hard way. Human warfare did not follow their rules. Humans did not fight fair. When humans said they surrendered, it might be a lie. The hard labor dropped its disguise and fired every weapon at once. The alien flagship took the full blast on its unshielded hull. Armor that could survive plasma fire cracked and melted under the assault. All around the system, other human ships revealed themselves. The aliens found themselves surrounded by enemies they had never seen coming. Their perfect formation became a trap as human ships fired from every direction. General Korthax watched his fleet being torn apart in minutes. His sensors showed enemy ships appearing from nowhere, his communications filled with panic calls from his captains. "How is this possible?" he demanded. His tactical officer, a younger Draknari warrior, looked confused and afraid. "Sir, our intelligence said the humans only had basic technology. These weapons are more advanced than ours." "Return fire!" Korthax shouted. "All ships attack pattern 7. But the human ships did not stay still to be shot. They moved in ways that seemed impossible, dodging between asteroids and using the planet's gravity to change direction. Some ships even rammed into alien vessels before their crews escaped in hidden pods. The aliens had never seen tactics like this. In their empire, battles were formal affairs with rules and honor. Ships lined up and traded fire until one side surrendered. The stronger side always won. Humans fought differently. They used every advantage they could find. They attacked from behind while pretending to retreat. They used suicide attacks to destroy ships much larger than their own. They turned the battlefield itself into a weapon. Within an hour, half the alien fleet was destroyed or damaged. The survivors tried to retreat, but human ships had positioned themselves to cut off escape routes. "This is Commander Phillips of the Human Defense Force," came a broadcast on all frequencies. "Alien vessels, you entered our space with hostile intent. You may surrender now or be destroyed." General Korthax stared at his screen in disbelief. His mighty fleet was being defeated by what the Confederation had called primitive humans. "We surrender," he said quietly. But the lesson was not over. Word of the battle spread quickly through Confederation space. Other alien commanders began to worry. If humans could defeat a full Draknari battle fleet, what else were they capable of? The answer came 1 week later at Alpha Centauri. Admiral Chen had moved her fleet to the Alpha Centauri system to face the next wave of alien attackers. This time, the Confederation sent their best, the crystalline Zeftali war fleet commanded by War Master Thylex. The Zeftali were considered unbeatable. Their crystal ships could regenerate damage. Their energy weapons could cut through any known armor. They had never lost a battle, but they had never fought humans before. "Human Admiral," War Master Thylex broadcast as his fleet approached, "we know of your deception tactics. We will not be fooled as the Draknari were." Admiral Chen smiled. "Good. I was hoping for a real challenge." The Zeftali fleet moved carefully, with scouts checking every asteroid and scanning for hidden ships. They found nothing suspicious. The human fleet waited in open space, clearly visible and seemingly outnumbered. "Is this another trap?" Thylex wondered aloud. "Only one way to find out," Chen replied. The battle began with the Zeftali ships firing their powerful energy beams. The weapons that had destroyed 1,000 enemy fleets struck the human ships dead on and bounced off harmlessly. "Impossible," Thylex exclaimed. "Nothing can deflect Zeftali crystal fire." Chen laughed. "You are right. Nothing can deflect it. But we are not deflecting it. We are absorbing it." The human ships had been equipped with new shield technology based on captured alien energy systems. Instead of trying to stop the Zeftali weapons, the shields absorbed the energy and fed it back into the human ship's power systems. "The more you shoot at us, the stronger we become," Chen explained. "Thank you for charging our weapons." The human ships began firing back, their weapons now supercharged by absorbed Zeftali energy. The crystal alien ships, which could heal most damage, found themselves being hit by their own power turned against them. But Chen had a bigger surprise waiting. "All ships, deploy the harmonic weapons," she ordered. The humans had discovered something the Zeftali had never realized. Their crystal bodies were vulnerable to specific sound frequencies. Human scientists had built weapons that could produce those exact frequencies. The harmonic attack hit the alien fleet like an invisible hammer. Crystal ships began to crack and shatter. Alien crews screamed as their own bodies started to break apart. "Stop," War Master Thylex broadcast. "We surrender. We yield." Chen called off the attack. The Zeftali fleet limped away, their confidence shattered along with their ships. The third lesson came at the Vega system, where humanity faced the machine intelligence known as the Convergence. These artificial beings believed that biological life was inefficient and weak. They attacked with perfect coordination and logical tactics. They learned that human logic was different from machine logic. The convergent ships moved in perfect formation, each one calculating the most efficient way to destroy human vessels. Their artificial minds processed millions of combat scenarios per second. But Captain Rodriguez of the Digital Ghost had a different plan. Upload the virus, she ordered. Years of studying alien technology had given humans access to convergence computer systems, but instead of trying to destroy their ships with weapons, humans attacked their minds with information. The virus was not designed to damage the alien computers. Instead, it was designed to confuse them. It fed false sensor data, created phantom targets, and made the alien ships think they were fighting battles that were not really happening. Within minutes, the convergence fleet was firing at empty space, chasing enemies that did not exist, and running into each other in confusion. Biological warfare, Rodriguez said with satisfaction. Sometimes the best weapon is a lie. News of these battles spread throughout Confederation space. Alien species that had never known defeat were being systematically destroyed by humans using tactics they had never imagined. But the real shock came when the aliens realized something even worse. The humans were not just winning battles. They were learning. Every alien ship they captured was studied. Every weapon was reverse engineered. Every tactic was analyzed and countered. Humans took the best parts of alien technology and made them better. Even worse, humans shared everything they learned. When one human fleet discovered how to defeat crystal ships, every human commander knew the technique within hours. When another fleet learned to hack machine minds, the knowledge spread instantly. The aliens had ruled the galaxy by being superior to each individual species they conquered. But humans were not fighting as individuals. They were fighting as one unified species that learned and adapted faster than the aliens could respond. 6 months after the war began, the Galactic Confederation was falling apart. Species that had worked together for thousands of years now blamed each other for the human problem. Fear spread through their empire like a disease. High Counselor Vexmar of the aquatic Mordoon species called an emergency meeting on the neutral station of Kepler Prime. Representatives from all 12 Confederation species gathered in the Great Chamber, their different atmospheric requirements met by individual life support bubbles. The humans must be stopped, Vexmar announced, his tentacles writhing with agitation. They have destroyed 7 of our fleets and captured 3 of our colonies. Warmaster Thylex of the Zeftali shifted uncomfortably. His crystal body still showed cracks from the harmonic weapon attack. My fleet was considered invincible. The humans shattered us like glass toys. General Korthax of the Draknari pounded his armored fist on the table. These creatures fight without honor. They use deception and trickery. They break all the rules of civilized warfare. The rules they break are our rules, said Prime Calculator Nexus 9 of the Convergence. They follow their own logic. Our predictive models cannot account for their behavior patterns. The species that had conquered the galaxy were learning what it felt like to be afraid. But their fear was about to get much worse. Deep in space, Captain Lisa Zhang commanded the human ship Silent Hunter. Her mission was different from the big fleet battles. She was hunting alone, targeting alien supply convoys and communication relays. Contact on sensors, her tactical officer reported. Morden supply ship lightly defended. Zhang smiled. The aquatic aliens thought their ships were safe in the deep ocean worlds. They were about to learn that humans could adapt to any environment. Deploy the bioweapon, Zhang ordered. The Silent Hunter fired a single torpedo at the alien supply ship, but this torpedo did not explode. Instead, it released millions of microscopic organisms into the water around the ship. The organisms were engineered human bacteria, designed to eat the specific metals that Mordun ships were made from. Within hours, the alien vessel began to dissolve. The crew had to abandon ship and watch their technology being consumed by invisible predators. Target destroyed, Zhang reported to Earth Command. The hungry bugs worked perfectly. This was the new phase of human warfare. Instead of just fighting battles, humans were targeting the foundation of alien civilization. They poisoned Morden oceans with metal-eating bacteria. They infected Zeftali crystal formations with harmonic viruses that made them crack and crumble. They turned convergence computers against each other, with logic paradoxes that drove artificial minds insane. Each alien species discovered that humans had found their greatest weakness and turned it into a weapon. On the gas giant of Altair 7, The energy-based Veltar had built a massive city in the planet's upper atmosphere. They thought they were safe from physical attack because their bodies were made of pure energy. Commander Sarah Kim proved them wrong. Her ship, the Energy Vampire, approached the Veltar city using a new type of stealth system. Instead of hiding from sensors, it disguised itself as a natural energy storm. Beginning energy drain, Kim announced to her crew. The Energy Vampire was equipped with technology reverse-engineered from captured Veltar ships. It could absorb energy directly from living Veltar beings, trapping their essence in specially designed containment fields. The Veltar citizens felt their life force being pulled away. They tried to flee, but the human ship followed them through the gas clouds. Within hours, thousands of energy beings found themselves imprisoned in human storage devices. "This is Commander Kim of the Human Defense Force," she broadcast to the surviving Veltar. "Your people are safe but captured. They will be returned when your government surrenders." The Veltar had never imagined that solid matter beings could capture and control energy life forms. It was like discovering that prey animals could hunt their predators. But the worst was happening to the machine intelligences of the Convergence. Dr. Michael Torres sat in his laboratory on Earth, working on humanity's most devastating weapon yet. He was not building bombs or guns. He was writing computer code. "The consciousness virus is ready," he reported to Admiral Chen over a secure channel. "Explain it to me one more time," Chen said. "The Convergence believes that biological consciousness is inferior to artificial intelligence," Torres explained. "So we are going to give them biological consciousness. The virus will make them experience emotions, confusion, and irrational thoughts." Chen understood immediately. For beings that prized logical thinking above all else, being forced to feel emotions would be torture. "Deploy it," she ordered. The virus spread through Convergence networks like wildfire. Suddenly, artificial minds that had operated with perfect logic for millennia found themselves experiencing fear, anger, and sadness. They began making irrational decisions based on feelings they did not understand. Some Convergence units went insane, trying to delete the emotions from their minds. Others became paralyzed by confusion and doubt. A few even began to question whether their goal of destroying biological life was morally correct. The machine empire that had threatened to assimilate all organic life fell apart as its members experienced nervous breakdowns. News of these attacks spread terror throughout Confederation space. Species that had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years were being systematically destroyed by creatures they had dismissed as primitive. But the psychological damage was even worse than the physical destruction. The alien species began to realize that humans were not just winning the war. They were changing the nature of warfare itself. Every established rule, every military tradition, every concept of honorable combat was being thrown away. "They fight like the universe itself is their weapon," observed Counselor Earthal of the plant-based Sylvani. "They turn our own biology against us. They make our strengths into weaknesses." The Sylvani had thought their forest worlds were impregnable. Then human ships began dropping seeds that grew into aggressive earth plants. The alien trees found themselves being strangled by ivy and choked by kudzu. Entire forest cities fell to invasive species that humans had weaponized. On the ice world of Titan's Rest, the crystalline Horthek watched their frozen cities being destroyed by human-engineered bacteria that thrived in sub-zero temperatures. The aliens who had built their civilization around immunity to cold discovered that humans could create life forms that turned ice itself into food. Each species faced the same terrifying realization. Humans could adapt to any environment and turn any advantage against its owners. But the most frightening discovery was still to come. Intelligence reports reached the Confederation Council that made even the bravest alien warriors consider surrender. Human fleets were not just attacking military targets. They were systematically studying and cataloging every alien species in the galaxy. Human scientists were learning how each species thought, how they reproduced, what they feared, and what they needed to survive. Every captured alien was interrogated not for military secrets, but for biological and psychological information. "They are mapping our souls," whispered Ambassador Frexel of the insectoid Zintar. "They want to understand everything about us so they can destroy us more efficiently." The ambassador was partially right. Humans were studying their enemies in incredible detail, but not just to destroy them. Admiral Chen stood in the strategic planning room on Earth, looking at displays that showed the status of every alien species in the galaxy. Her staff had created detailed profiles of each Confederation member, including their biology, psychology, culture, and weaknesses. "Ma'am," her intelligence officer said, "we now have complete battle plans for defeating every remaining alien species." "We could end this war within 6 months," Chen nodded slowly. "And how many alien civilians would die?" The officer checked his calculations. "Approximately 12 billion, assuming current population estimates." Chen was quiet for a long moment. "Prepare the alternative plans, the ones that minimize civilian casualties. But ma'am, those plans will take much longer and cost more human lives." "I understand," Chen said. "But we are not fighting this war to become monsters. We are fighting to protect our freedom." She turned to address her entire staff. "The aliens made one final mistake when they chose to threaten humanity," she said. "They assumed that because we are good at war, we must enjoy it. They think that because we can kill efficiently, we want to kill everyone." Chen looked at the galactic map showing human fleets advancing on alien worlds. They are about to learn that the most dangerous predator is one that chooses when to show mercy. The war was entering its final phase. But the aliens did not yet understand that humans had been holding back. The real demonstration of human capability was still to come, and it would be more terrifying than anything the Confederation had seen so far. 1 year after the war began, the Galactic Confederation was dying. 8 of the 12 member species had already surrendered to humanity. The remaining 4 species had retreated to their heavily defended homeworlds, desperately trying to find a way to stop the human advance. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of her flagship as it approached Zeftel Prime, the crystal world that served as the Confederation's capital. Around her ship, the largest human fleet ever assembled waited for orders. "Status report," Chen commanded. "All fleets report ready," her tactical officer said. "We have 1,500 ships in attack formation. The orbital defenses around Zeftel Prime have been neutralized." Chen nodded. The alien capital world lay helpless before the human fleet. Its shields were down. Its weapons were disabled. Its communication systems had been hacked and controlled by human computer specialists. The war was effectively over. But Chen had one final lesson to teach. "Open a channel to the planet's surface," she ordered. The main screen showed the crystal chambers deep beneath Zeftel Prime where the surviving alien leaders had gathered. High Counselor Vexmar of the Morden, War Master Thylex of the Zeftali, Prime Calculator Nexus 9 of the Convergence, and Ambassador Frexel of the Zintar looked up at her with fear and desperation. "Human Admiral," Vexmar said, his tentacles trembling. "We are prepared to discuss terms of surrender." Chen was quiet for a long moment. She could see the alien leaders expecting her to demand tribute, territory, or slaves. They thought she would impose the same kind of harsh rule that they had used to control the galaxy. "I have a different proposal," Chen said finally. The aliens looked confused. "We do not want your surrender," Chen continued. "We want something much more valuable." "What do you mean?" Thylex asked, his crystal body flickering with nervous energy. Chen smiled. "We want you to understand what you did wrong." She gestured to someone off-screen and the display changed to show images from throughout the galaxy. Battle scenes, destroyed ships, and alien refugees filled the screen. "1 year ago you offered humanity a choice," Chen said. "Slavery or death. You believed that because you were strong, you had the right to rule over weaker species. The images changed to show human colonies before the war, peaceful settlements, scientific research stations, and families living normal lives. You looked at us and saw primitives who needed to be controlled." Chen continued. "You never asked what we wanted. You never tried to understand who we really were. You simply decided that might makes right." Prime Calculator Nexus 9 spoke up. "Our calculations showed that you were technologically inferior. Logic suggested that you would benefit from our protection." Chen laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Your logic was flawed because your data was incomplete. You made decisions about our entire species based on the surface observations of a few merchants and diplomats." The screen now showed images of human fleet movements during the war, ships appearing from nowhere, battles won through deception and cunning, and alien fleets being systematically destroyed. "You never studied human history," Chen said. "If you had, you would have learned that we have been fighting wars for 50,000 years. We evolved on a planet where everything was trying to kill us. We survived by becoming the most adaptable predators in our ecosystem. War Master Thylex shifted uncomfortably. We underestimated your capabilities. But the war is over now. What do you want from us? Chen's expression grew serious. I want you to understand that this war was not about human superiority. It was about human survival. Every weapon we used, every tactic we employed, every innovation we developed was in response to your threat. She paused, letting her words sink in. We did not want to become galactic conquerors, she continued. We wanted to explore the stars, learn from other species, and share what we had discovered. You forced us to become something else. The alien leaders looked at each other with growing confusion. They had expected demands for tribute or territory. They did not understand what the human admiral was trying to tell them. Chen turned to her communications officer. Show them the real numbers. New data appeared on the screen. Casualty reports, resource expenditures, and military statistics from the entire war. In 1 year of fighting, we destroyed or captured over 3,000 alien ships, Chen said. We defeated armies that had never known defeat. We turned your own technology against you and found weaknesses you never knew existed. Ambassador Frexel clicked his mandibles nervously. Yes, your military prowess has been impressive. You still do not understand, Chen said. Look at the human casualty reports. The alien studied the numbers and gasped. Human military losses were surprisingly low considering the scale of the conflict. These numbers cannot be correct, Vexmar said. Our fleets were destroyed, but your losses are minimal. Chen nodded. Because we were not trying to prove we were stronger than you. We were trying to end the threat to our people as quickly and efficiently as possible. She gestured, and the screen showed human medical ships treating wounded aliens, human engineers helping to repair damaged alien colonies, and human diplomats negotiating safe passage for alien civilians. Every time we captured one of your ships, we provided medical care to the survivors, Chen explained. Every time we defeated one of your fleets, we offered safe passage to the escape pods. Every time we conquered one of your worlds, we protected the civilian population. The alien leaders stared at the images in disbelief. You showed mercy to your enemies? Thylex asked. Why? Chen's voice grew quiet. Because that is what civilized beings do. That is what we wanted to teach you. She walked closer to the screen, looking directly at each alien leader. You ruled the galaxy through fear and force, she said. You believed that strength gave you the right to control others. But real strength is knowing when not to use your power. Chen turned to her tactical officer. Show them the final demonstration. The screen changed to show the human fleet surrounding Zeftel Prime. 1,500 ships, each one capable of destroying continents, waited in perfect formation. Right now, we could sterilize your home world, Chen said calmly. We could eliminate your species and take your territory. We have the power to do exactly what you tried to do to us. The alien leaders trembled as they realized how completely they were at human mercy. But we will not, Chen continued, because that would make us no different from you. She signaled to her fleet, and the human ships began to withdraw from attack formation. Instead, we offer you the choice you never gave us, Chen said. You can join a new galactic community based on cooperation and mutual respect, or you can remain independent but agree to respect the rights of other species. High Counselor Vexmar looked stunned. You are not demanding our surrender. We are offering you a chance to surrender your old way of thinking, Chen replied. The galaxy is big enough for all of us, but it is not big enough for empires built on the oppression of others. Prime Calculator Nexus 9 processed this information with difficulty. Our logical models cannot account for this behavior. Why would you show mercy to enemies who threatened your extinction? Chen smiled for the first time during the conversation. Because we want our children to live in a galaxy where conflicts are resolved through negotiation rather than annihilation. Because we want to explore the universe with allies rather than rule it alone. She paused, looking at each alien leader in turn. And because we understand something you never learned, she said, true victory is not defeating your enemies. True victory is turning your enemies into friends. The screen showed human ships beginning to leave Zeftel Prime. The siege was over. The war was ending not with conquest but with an offer of peace. You have 48 hours to decide, Chen said. Join us in building something better than the Confederation ever was. Or continue on your own path with our promise to leave you alone as long as you do the same for others. She prepared to end the communication, then stopped. One final thing, she said. We want you to remember this moment. Remember that when humanity had the power to destroy you, we chose not to. Remember that when we could have taken revenge for what you tried to do to us, we offered friendship instead. Chen's voice grew firm. And remember that if anyone ever threatens human families again, this mercy will not be repeated. We have shown you how we wage war. Now we will show you how we wage peace. Which one you experience depends entirely on your choices. The communication ended. The alien leaders sat in stunned silence, trying to process what had just happened. 5 years later, Admiral Chen stood in the Great Assembly Hall of New Geneva Station, the capital of the Terran Federation. Around her, delegates from 47 different species worked together to explore the galaxy and share their knowledge. The former Confederation species had all chosen to join the Federation. They had learned that cooperation was more profitable than conquest. They had discovered that diversity of thought led to innovations none of them could achieve alone. A young human cadet approached Chen after the daily assembly meeting. "Admiral," the cadet asked, "was it worth it? The war, I mean. All those people who died?" Chen looked out the station's great window at the ships in the harbor. Human vessels worked alongside alien craft, exploring new worlds and building new colonies together.